Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Today we will cover file handling. A file is a stream of bytes or sequence of bytes stored permanently on a permanent medium like your flash drive or hard disk or a CD-ROM. Uh, Files are basically used to, let's say you have generated some data or you have entered some data and you want to store it permanently. So we store the data for for later use in a file. Python uses open function to create or open files and close function to close a file. The syntax of open function is open, and then parenthesis starts, then you write the file name, then a dot, and then the extension of the file, and after that you enter the file mode. The file name and file extension should be a valid file name and a valid extension. Like if you are creating a text file, the file name should follow the file naming conventions of that particular operating system in which you are creating the file, and extension should also be a valid file name extension. Like in case I want to store a text file, the extension can be txt. It can be let's say if I am storing a Python program, it can be .py. If I am storing a program written in C language, it can be .c, etc. Now the important thing is the file mode. There are 4 file modes, and these file modes are available in all programming languages. Now the first file mode is R. It means that we are telling the operating system that we want to open a file in read mode. For this mode, it is important that the file should exist on the storage medium. Like suppose there is a file by the name data.txt on my D drive. So if I want to open that file for reading data from the file, I will write the file mode R, and then I will write the file name, which is data.txt. Here it is important that if the file name does not exist at that location, then I will get an error. The second file mode is A. This mode is called append mode, and as the name suggests, the append mode is used to add data to an existing file. In case of append mode, if the file does not exist, this command will create the file as well. So let's say if I want to store data and I use the append file mode, and the file does not exist already on my hard disk, the function will first create the file, and then I will start storing the data inside my file. And if the file already exists, it will open the file, and whatever data I will store in the file will be appended to the existing data. Append means that the data available in the file will remain there, and the new data will be added at the end of the existing data. The third file mode is write mode. In the write mode, a new file is created to store data. In the write mode, if a file name already exists, then the computer will open the file, erase the contents of existing file, and write the new contents in it. So in case of write mode, whenever you store new data, the previous data will be erased and only the new data will remain in the file. So the difference between append mode and write mode is, in case of append mode, if the file does not exist, it will be created and the data will be saved in the file. However, if the file already exists, the new data will be added to the existing data. But in case of write mode, if the file does not exist, the computer will create the file, but if the file already exists, it will erase data in the existing file and add and save the new data in the file. The last mode is create mode. It is represented by the symbol X. In this case, a new file is created, and if a file the with this name already exists on the hard disk or on the storage medium, the computer will return an error. So in case of X mode, it is you have to check beforehand that whether a file with this name already exists. If it exists, you will open the file with any of the above three modes, but if the file does not exist, only then you will use the create mode to create a new file. Now in addition to these three modes, we append along with these four letters two more letters, T or B. These are called the file types. Now there are two file types, and again these two file types are available in all the operating systems. T represents a text file and B represents a binary file. The difference between text and binary files are, in case of text file, the data stored in the text file is the computer assumes that data is in the form of ASCII characters or Unicode characters, or in short, it is a character data. So in case of character data, there are some conversions performed when we open the file or when we close the file, because different operating system have different end of line markings. I will explain it to you through this example. Like in case of all Unix or Unix-like operating systems, the lines are ended by \n character. Like whenever we press and enter, a \n character is saved inside the file. In case of Microsoft operating system, which is Windows, whenever we press enter, a \r and \n is stored in the file. In case of Mac, this is not correct. In case of Mac, it is also \n. \n is called line feed, and \r is called carriage return. In short, it is written as LF and it is written as CR. So all Unix and Unix operating system store a new line character as LF, and all Windows operating system store the new line character as carriage return CR and CRLF. CR for carriage return and LF for line feed. So let's say if I open Notepad and write some text in it and then save it, this is a text file, and let's say I email that file to a person, and that person opens that file on its Android mobile phone. So now Android is a Unix operating system. Android is a next operating system. Android is actually Linux. Similarly, Mac OS and iOS. The iOS is used on iPhone. They are also basically variant of Linux. The operating system at the bottom is Linux, and they have a visual interface, their own visual interface library over it. Same is the case of Android. The operating system is actually Linux, and they have their own user interface libraries and other mobile related libraries over it. So let's say if I email a text file to a person, and the person opens that email on a Macintosh operating system or on a iPhone or on Android phone. So when the app will display the text to the user on the screen, it will convert this backslash r and backslash n to backslash n, because if this conversion is not made, the text will not be displayed properly on the Unix like operating system. And same is the case if we reverse it. Let's say right now I am using Linux. If I open a text editor and I write some text in it, and I email this text to a person, let's say I email this text to you, and I know that majority of you use Windows operating system, and you save that file on your operating system, the your operating system will automatically convert this new line character to this, because Windows uses this as a new line character. So these are the conversions made in text files. This is one example, but just to give you an idea. However, in case of binary files, the data is not stored in character format, and so there are no conversions made in the data. Here it is important to know that we can store text in binary file, like we can store text in a file, and we save the file as a binary file. In that case, no conversion will be made by any operating system, because in case of binary file, the conversions are not made. The data is sent as it is and received as it is. In short, all image files, all audio files, all video files, all your installers, these exe files, Word documents, Excel files, these are all binary files. And all files that we create in any type of editor, like if you open Notepad and write some text in it, Notepad will always create a binary file. All the editors of any programming language, like we are using this Wings editor, so this editor which is part of this IDE will store this file as a text file. So all editors of programming languages store files as text files. All text editors store files as text files, and all other files are binary files. Okay, now coming back to so if I want to create a file in any one of this mode and the file type is text, I will write T along with these letters. Now let's say if I want to create okay, we will go through this example, it will be clear to you. For example, I want to create a file by the name data.txt in my current directory, and I want to use append mode, and the file type should be text, so I will write AT. It means check if data.txt is a file by the name data.txt exists in the current directory. If it exists, this command will open that file for adding new data to the file, and it will open the file in text mode. And if this file does not exist, it will create a new file by the name data.txt, and the file will be created in text mode, and then whatever data will be entered in the file, it will be stored in text mode. Similarly, let's say if I want to create a new file by this name graph.png. Now I know that it is an image file, so I must give a binary I must create a file in binary mode, and X is for creating a new file. Now when you open a file in any one of this mode and using any one of these file types, after this you give the command to either write data in the file or read data from the file. And when you are done writing or reading data from the file, you want to and you are done with your sorry, then you want to close your file. So the function to close the file is simply close. Anyway, we will go through these methods in our example. So let's I have already written a program for to give you example of file handling. I have on line number 3 I have created a list by the name cities, and I have entered 3 cities in it. I want to store this list permanently in a file on my hard disk. So on line number 5 I have created a file, and the command I have used is open test.txt comma wt. It means I want to store the name of the cities in a file by the name test.txt, and I want to open the file in write mode, and it should be a text file. I want to create a text file. Now write mode means that computer will check if test.txt already exists. If it will exist, it will erase all the data in this text file, and new data will be saved in the file. And if this file does not exist, computer will create a new file by the name test.txt. Now whenever we use the open command returns a file handle, and we store that handle in a variable, because we will use this variable in all later commands to close the file, to write data to the file, or to read data from the file. So this is important, that whenever you use an open command, the open command returns a file handle, and we must save that handle in a variable. So in this case I have saved the file handle in variable f. Before proceeding further, let me tell you what a file handle is. Whenever an operating system creates a file, it assigns a number to the file if the file is created or opened successfully. That specific number or code is called file handle. Once you get the file handle, all later commands related to that file, let's say if I want to save data in a file, or I want to read data from a file, or I want to close that file, I need that file handle. Because the reason for this is, at one time operating system is working with many files. There are many different programs running in the operating system. Some are the application programs, and some programs are the system programs that are part of operating system. These programs, many of these programs are creating files, closing files, reading data from the files, writing data to the files. So whenever operating system creates any file, it generates a code for that file, and all the operations on that file are done using that code. ये बिल्कुल इस तरह जैसे अगर आपको टोकन दे दिया जाता है और उस टोकन की बेस पे फिर आपका सारा काम होता है. So that file handle is actually a token by the operating system to a file, and operating system remembers that particular file from its token. So in programming we call it file handle. So we need a file handle to perform all the functions in a file. Now from line 7 to line on line 7 and 8 I have written data to the file. So first I have used a for loop to read one city at a time from the cities list, and on line number 8 I have again used the same file handle f, then a dot which is called member operator, then the write function. Write function is used to write data to the file. So I have written the name of the city. This plus is for append, and after the city name I have entered a new line character which is \n. Because I am using Linux operating system, I have used \n. If you are running it on your own computer, most of you are using Windows operating system, you can leave it like this as well, or you should write it \r/n, because Windows uses \r and \n as a new line character. Anyway, so this loop will execute 3 times because we have 3 values in our cities list, and this write command will write the name of 3 cities, and at the end of each name it will save the new line character. So the file that will be created has 3 cities, 1 in each line. In the first line the name Islamabad will be saved, in the second line Lahore will be saved, in the third line Karachi will be saved, and the fourth line will be empty, because after Karachi again we will have backslash n, so there will be a new line after Karachi and that line will be empty. After storing this data, the loop will break and we will come to line number 10, and here I have given the command to close the file. So this command will close the file properly. Keep in mind that it is very important in case of file handling that whenever you open a file and do whatever you want to do, like you want to store data or read data or write data to the file, after that you should must close the file properly. If you don't close the file properly, it corrupts your structure of the hard disk. Sometimes when you unplug your flash from your computer without properly unmounting it or ejecting it, and you again plug it, the computer gives a message that there are errors on there are file system errors. Those file system errors are because of unclosed files on your flash drive. So this is a compulsory condition that whenever you open a file, after doing your file work, you should must close your files. Now on line number 13 to 16, I have opened the same file and read data from it. So this the example in the from line number 5 to line number 10 is to write data to the file, and the example on line 13 to line number 16 is to read data from the file. So again I have opened the file, I have given the same name which is test.txt, but here the file mode is RT, it means read the file in text mode, because I know that I have just created the file and the text file, so I have given the text mode, and now I just want to read the data from the file, so I have given R. And for line in F, now in this case I will execute a loop on the file handle, and for line in F means read one line at a time from the file whose handle is stored in variable F. And on line number 15 I have just printed the line I have read from the file. So print line comma and is equals to empty string, means don't put a new line character while printing the line, because line will read one line from the text file, and inside the text file I have new line character after every name of the city. So new line character is already in this variable, and it will be when it will be printed, we will see the cursor going to the new line after printing the name of each city. And when we are done with this loop, we will close the file which is on line number 16. So let's execute this code. Before executing it, see the location of the file. This file this program file example.py is in this folder, programs and Python. In this is my home folder, just like your my documents or documents folder in Windows. So inside that folder there is a folder by the name programs and then a folder named Python. So it means that this file will be created in programs in the Python folder inside the programs folder in my documents folder. So let's execute this. So first it has created the file, saved the name of these cities in the file, and then closed the file, and then it has opened the same file and printed the name of the cities and then closed the file. Now see, I have in the print statement I have said that don't print new line character, but even then a new line is being printed. When new line is printed on the screen, the cursor goes to the next line. So it has printed Islamabad because this variable line which will read one line from this text file we will read the name of the city along with the new line character, because I have saved new line character here after the name of each city. So that's why I'm saying this new line here. So Islamabad, Lahore, Karachi, and then a new line after that, Karachi. So this line is empty. And now let's check the file as well. Let's go to this folder. So we have to go to programs folder. So this is the programs folder, and this program folder there should be a Python folder, and the file name was test.txt. So here it is, test.txt file, and if I open it, I've opened the file in a text editor, and this is the data stored in the file. Okay, now let's take an example. I have added 3 more names, and I will execute. Oh, sorry. I have commented the previous line, and I have added these three. I have saved these 3 names in the cities list, and I'm making a small change. Instead of write mode, now I will open the file in append mode. It means now open the file if it already exists, and add new data to the end of existing data. Now the existing data was Islamabad, Lahore, and Karachi in the file, and now I want to add Peshawar, Sialkot, and Faisalabad. Now let's execute it. So see, Islamabad, Lahore, Karachi, and then Peshawar, Sialkot, Faisalabad. And let's open the file as well, again in the text editor. So in append mode, the file will be opened and new data will be added to the end of the existing data which is already available in the file. But again, if I change it to WT, then this data will be lost, and the previous data, whatever in the file, will be erased, and only the new data will be saved in the file. So if I execute it again and I go and check, the previous data is lost, erased, and the new data will be saved in the file. So this is all about file handling. We will do a more you can say we will do a more complex example in the next class, in which we will combine this with the previous function definition, and we will save the data in the file and then read data from the file, perform some calculation in it, and display the results on the screen. Thank you.